guys, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm reviewing the Selection series by Kiera Cass. And the books in that series are The Selection, The Elite, and The One. And I listened to the audiobooks for these, which are read by Amy Rubinate. But I really, really love these covers, so I had to show you guys. I love the dresses. I am a sucker for the pretty dresses, okay? I am. So these books are kind of romantic fluff a bit. They're set up with this competition called The Selection, which sort of runs like The Bachelor if it were held in a royal palace, and the end goal was to win the hand of the prince. And this takes place in a future world that's, dystopian, pretty messed up. And this world has a caste system, with the royal family being at the top at number 1. And then there are like 2s, which are like celebrities and really rich people, and then you go down with like 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s are the lowest caste, and they are homeless beggars, and they actually can't hold jobs. But like the caste you are born into determines what kind of jobs you can hold in the future. So like a 3 could be a teacher, and a 5 could be a musician, but like you're stuck at like what layer you're at. And obviously, the higher up you are, the closer you are to a 1. The more money you have, the more opportunities you have, the better life you have. If you're down at the bottom, if you're like a 6 or a 7, then maybe you're not making enough money. And this is where the poorest people in the country are. And those are like servants at those levels. So the political system's kind of messed up and not great. For some people, like our main character, America Singer, it's fine. She's a 5, they are artists, and she likes singing and music. So she's happy with her lot in life. She likes her family, and she's good. And then we have somebody like her younger brother, Jared, who is also a 5, but he is into sports and science, and he can't go into either career track for those because of the caste he was born into. He has to be an artist, but he can't find what he's good at as far as art is, like painting and sculpting and singing. He doesn't have an affinity for any of those. And so for somebody like Jared, this is a really not fair system. Or if you're born as a 6 or a 7, it's really hard to get out of that caste. And so you're going to be stuck in poverty for the rest of your life. And it's really just not good. Really ugly and awful. Country is a monarchy. It is ruled by the king. King Clarkson rules the country, and his wife, he has a wife, Amberly, who's the queen, and is wonderful and amazing. Clarkson's very strict and very domineering, whereas his wife, Amberly, is very friendly and nice, and really tries to like see other people's points of view. And their son, Maxon, is their only son, Maxon, is coming of age, and it's time for him to pick a wife. So in their country, when the male heir comes of age, he holds a selection, and 1 woman from each province in their country comes and competes to become the next princess. The main character, America, doesn't actually want to join the selection competition. She has a boyfriend she hasn't told anybody about, so her family is pressuring her to join this competition because they'll get paid for it, and it's one of the few ways that they can climb the caste system is if she marries the prince. So America's getting pressure from her mom. Her mom even bribes her to like enter. And then her boyfriend says that she should compete because he's a 6 and he really can't offer her much of a life. Like, she'd be marrying down a caste system, and it would be really complicated for them to get married in the first place and expensive. But also, he just, like, he wouldn't be able to, like, it wouldn't be fair for her to bring her down into a servant's caste when she's trained for something else, and to not have that kind of opportunities, like, such a huge difference. So he says that she should, so her boyfriend Aspen also pushes her to join the selection, because otherwise he would feel awful if she didn't take that opportunity. He'd like always have this what if in the back of his mind. So America does yield to persuasion, and she joins the selection, and she gets picked. Obviously, she's the main character. Minor spoiler. When she gets to the palace, she has all these ideas in her head of what the prince is going to be like. He's going to be all stuck up and snotty. And when she meets Prince Maxon, he's not like that. He's really kind and he's nervous and he's never dated before in his life and he doesn't interact with women other than like in diplomatic situations. So he doesn't know how to do romance. He doesn't know how to date or get to know somebody. So he and America have this first meeting that is so cute. Where she's like, I don't even want to be here. And he's so nervous about meeting all these girls. These 35 girls at once he's supposed to date. And how is he going to find like the one out of this? And when he finds out that America doesn't even want to be there, he's kind of like, wait, why did you join? I love Maxim and America and how they're friends first, and then they develop these romantic feelings and all the complications of like dating 35 women at once kind of start coming into the story. And that part's kind of fluff, but it's also very much like it would be complicated to date that many people at once, or to be a contestant and be like, well, he's dating all these other people. That part of the story is not terribly deep, but I love it. It's so, like, I didn't think I was going to love it that much. Like, it just pulled me in, and I love these characters, and these women who are competing are so complicated. And all these girls want different things also, whether it's the crown, or they want the higher social status, or the prestige of marrying the prince, or if they actually want to fall in love. And Maxim's trying to figure out what it is he wants out of a wife. So it's a lot more complicated than it sounds, and it's really entertaining and adorable. There's also a really complex political system in place. On top of the casts, which are not great to begin with, we also have a lot of people who are unhappy with the government. Because of the caste system, because they're so isolated, because of the way the education system's set up. And there are so many people in lower castes that they have actually two rebel groups within their country. The Northerners, which are more peaceful, and the Southerners, which, when they attack, they just kill everything in sight. It's chaos. And I love getting to see how these groups differed and what they wanted, and if I agree with either of them. So it was cool to see that develop. And it also adds this air of like danger to it because the palace is under attack at times. And how each of the characters react to that. How each of their personalities show through. So I think that's it for the non-spoilery bit. This next section will have spoilers for books 1, 2, and 3. Because I read them all at once, and it's hard to keep track of what happened in each book separately. So I love America and Maxim's relationship and how it develops and how they become friends first, and then they fall in love and have the romance and all the complicated parts of the relationship. But like America, for most of the series, is like Maxim's first choice, and it's just a matter of her deciding whether or not she wants Maxim. And then when she does decide she wants Maxim, then things get complicated because he's had to hedge his bets, and now he is attached to some of the other girls, and it's a lot more complicated. He doesn't know if she can trust America because she's always like changing her mind and flip-flopping on her whether or not she wants to marry him or not, or be with him, or like a lot of stop and go in their relationship. And so Maxim has to decide if that's what he really wants also. If America's going to change, and if it's going to get better after the selection's over, if that's just her personality. I mean, is that the person you want to be with for the rest of your life? Somebody who you don't know what they're thinking or where they're coming from, and who might change their mind at any minute. And I love Maxim's character because he's so patient, and he's so kind, and he always asks, like with any of the girls, like, he will try to figure out, like, are you okay with this? Like, before he kisses them, he'll ask them, or before, he never forces them to do anything. And he's so awkward at the beginning, and I love how he gains confidence as well as, like, girls, as they get to know each other better. And as Maxim gains more dating experience. He does have a temper and is sometimes rash, but so does America. So in a way, they're suited for each other if they're not losing their temper at the same time, which is usually what happens. But like, I don't think that's really a big problem when they both have that issue. So, um, the political system is so interesting with like how the it came to be Illea, how it went from the United States and then they had this world war with China taking over, and then how Gregory Illea managed to take over and instate the monarchy, and how it's so controlling, and just all of the steps that happened were like what, and how when we found out how Illea did everything, just like so much thought involved. It was crazy and very in depth, and one of the things I don't like about this is the series just kind of ends, and I'm like, so what's the next step? So they've gotten rid of the cast, but like, how does it work? How's the adjustment? How's what happens with the rebels? Do do we even really find out what the like Southern rebels like? Do they go away? Are they still there? Are they still fighting? So, I mean, getting rid of the cast doesn't just fix the country. And even with the next book, The Heir, that's 20 years later. There's like this 20-year gap. Like, I want to know what happened. I want to know what those steps were. That got us from point A to point B. Really involved in that political system, the rebels, and what they wanted, and their ideas. I like watching America grow and kind of like learn how to be the princess and accept it. But like how she applies herself when she's trying to prove that, I want Maxon, I can do this, and I can be the princess, and how she throws herself into studies and diplomacy. And I love the character, like the way the girls function. Like towards the end of the Elite and into the One, we have them fighting a lot more with each other. But like at the beginning, I thought there was gonna be a lot more of that. But at the beginning of the books, they're very civil to each other and they're kind and they make friends and alliances. So I liked that part of the story also. To see how these girls each had their own personalities and how they all got along with each other, or didn't, but like how these girls all functioned. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the selection series by Kiera Cass. Check it out if you haven't already. Peace out. I love you guys and keep reading. Bye.